Well-known authors and poets often visit Murray State as a part of the MSU Reading Series. Award-winning poet Adrian Matejka was the last visiting writer of this semester.
Adrian Matejka read from several of his books of poetry, including The Big Smoke, a book about Jack Johnson, the first African-American heavyweight champion, Mixology, and his new book, Map to the Stars.
I think I'm working on things that involve music, and I think I'm working on things that involve the world as we relate to one another, right? That seems very random and vague, but my idea is that I can't write about something that I'm not working with, and so I think a lot about the way we talk to each other and the way that we hear each other, and I try to write about those things. You know, sometimes it's music, right? Sometimes it's about rap music or jazz. Other times it's about history. After all the sonic space and static lead-in of earthly atmosphere, the smoon is the same shape as a record, which is the same shape as the luminous afro framing some future astronaut's face, like an arpeggio of stars would, if stars were hollowed like the half notes ascending from Earth's rough creeks and broken trees. And the little girl running through a quick split of wobbling sunlight, and the vanity of redbirds flocking skyward like a chorus of singing mouths, instead of the incandescent suns having themselves outside of a space probe on its ungainly way from here to whatever waits after this heat and humidity in this place.
Adrian Matejka has won numerous awards for his poetry and has been listed as a finalist for the 2013 National Book Award and the 2014 Pulitzer Prize in Poetry. Adrian currently has several works in progress.
Well, I'm working on this book about astronomy. Like I mentioned, it's about radio astronomy, which is listening to the stars instead of looking at them. And it's called, like I said, it's called Map to the Stars. It's going to come out in 2017. I'm not sure what it's going to look like when it comes out, but I know that's when it's going to be out. I'm also working on a graphic novel about Jack Johnson that finishes his story. And I'm working on another graphic novel about rap music in the 80s. The thing that was remarkable about Jack Johnson was not just that he was the first black heavyweight champion, it was that his parents were slaves. So he's the first generation after emancipation, the very first one. And he became one of the most famous people in the world, mainly because everybody wanted him to lose. It wasn't that he was a brilliant boxer, but they wanted so badly to not allow a black man to be heavyweight champion that everybody threw all their weight into trying to get the title back from him.
Matejka has this advice for students who are currently studying to be authors and poets.
Anybody that wants to write needs to become a better reader. Like if you're going to write, you need to read anything that you can find. It's not as fun as writing. Reading somebody else's work is not nearly as enjoyable as writing your own. But you can't be a good writer without knowing what other people do. And you can't be a good writer without listening.